The complicated story of Natalia Grace unfolds. The story of Natalia Grace, a girl with a rare form of dwarfism, has captured the attention of many, particularly through the recent Hulu series Good American Family. This series chronicles her tumultuous journey from Ukraine to the United States, where she was adopted by the Barnett family in 2010. However, what began as a seemingly heartwarming tale quickly spiraled into a complex web of allegations and legal battles. Natalia Grace was born Anna Volodymyrivna Gava in September 2003 in Latvia, where her biological mother, Anna, faced significant challenges. After a difficult birth, doctors informed Anna that her newborn would not walk and would require expensive surgery. Lacking the financial means and already having another child, Anna made the heart-wrenching decision to place Natalia in a Ukrainian orphanage. In 2008, Natalia was brought to the United States under a temporary adoption arrangement. By spring 2010, she was permanently adopted by Christine and Michael Barnett, who were excited to welcome her into their family. Photos from their trip to Disney World that year show a smiling family, but this bliss was short-lived. Just days after bringing Natalia home, the Barnetts began to question her age. They claimed she was not the 6-year-old child that they believed they had adopted, but rather an adult posing as a child. This shocking assertion led to an investigation by Indiana Social Services into allegations of abuse and neglect against the Barnetts. In the 2023 investigation Discovery docuseries, The Curious Case of Natalia Grace, Michael Barnett, now 26, reflects on the chaos that ensued. He recounts how their idyllic family life disintegrated as accusations mounted. The Barnetts claimed Natalia threatened them with knives and exhibited troubling behaviors that left them fearful for their safety. There certainly was a lot of fear. What if Natalia actually harms one of us? Jacob said in the docuseries. The situation escalated when Christine attempted to bathe Natalia and discovered pubic hair, leading them to believe she was much older than they had been led to believe. The Barnetts sought a court order to change Natalia's birth year from 2003 to 1989, effectively declaring her an adult. This request was granted, and by 2013, they moved her into an apartment to live independently. However, the Barnetts' decision to legally change Natalia's age has sparked controversy. In 2022, a DNA test confirmed that Natalia was indeed a child at the time of her adoption, restoring her birth year to 2003. As a result, the Barnetts faced legal repercussions for abandoning her. Michael was found not guilty of neglect charges, while Christine's charges were dismissed in 2023. Throughout this tumultuous saga, Natalia's biological mother, Anna, has expressed her sorrow over the situation. In an interview for the docuseries, she stated, "When I learned what happened, I was in shock." Anna, who now lives in Ukraine, was able to provide DNA evidence confirming her relationship to Natalia, disproving the Barnetts' claims. The Barnetts' story has raised questions about the true nature of their relationship with Natalia. In the docuseries, Michael claims that Natalia attempted to poison Christine and terrorized their youngest son. However, Natalia has vehemently denied these allegations, stating in a January interview with People, "I feel like I was brainwashed by the Barnetts. Christine coached me to lie about my age and say I tried to murder my parents." As the legal battles continue, Natalia currently lives with another family in Indiana, where she has reportedly learned vital life skills that she did not acquire while living with the Barnetts. The community's concerns about her behavior persisted even after the Barnetts moved her to a new apartment, with neighbors reporting troubling incidents. The release of the docuseries and the Hulu series has reignited public interest in Natalia's story, with many viewers eager to learn more about her experiences and the truth behind the allegations. As Jacob Barnett noted, "The more this case is examined, the harder it is to determine where the truth lies." This sentiment is echoed by legal analyst Beth Karras, who suggests that there may be multiple victims within this convoluted narrative. In a forthcoming 2-hour documentary titled The Curious Case of Natalia Grace, Natalia Speaks, Natalia is expected to share her perspective on the events that transpired. She asserts, "This is my version of the story, and I'm going to tell what happened, because I never had the chance to explain what occurred." This documentary aims to provide a platform for Natalia to clarify the misconceptions surrounding her life. The complex and heartbreaking saga of Natalia Grace serves as a poignant reminder of the challenges faced by children in the foster care system and the importance of understanding their stories. While the legal battles continue, the hope is that Natalia will find the peace and support she deserves as she moves forward with her life. In the quiet stillness of small-town Indiana, a story was unraveling, one that seemed plucked from the pages of a psychological thriller, stitched together with mystery, accusation, and heartbreak. At the center of this tale stood a girl, or perhaps a woman, named Natalia Grace, whose age, identity, and very humanity became a point of contention for years. It began like many well-meaning stories do, with a dream of family, of love, of doing something good. In 2010, Michael and Christine Barnett, parents already to 3 boys and known for raising a child prodigy, opened their hearts and home to Natalia, a Ukrainian orphan with a rare form of dwarfism. She was small, with large eyes and a soft voice. She walked awkwardly and smiled brightly. She was 6 years old, according to the adoption documents. Or so they believed. At first, things were hopeful. Pictures showed a beaming Natalia alongside her new siblings, nestled comfortably into the arms of her adoptive mother. But soon the story twisted. Christine began to voice concerns. Natalia didn't seem to act like a child. She used language too advanced for her age. She didn't play with toys, she preferred adult conversations. In the privacy of their home, Christine claimed Natalia exhibited behavior that terrified the family: threats, violence, attempts to harm the younger children. It was as if they'd invited a stranger into their home, not a daughter. Then came the turning point, a claim that stunned the world. The Barnetts accused Natalia of being an adult masquerading as a child. They believed she was not 6, but possibly in her 20s. They said she was a sociopath, a con artist who had fooled the adoption system. Medical tests were ordered. Doctors gave mixed feedback. Some believed her to be a child. Others weren't so sure. The Barnetts, driven by fear or desperation, or both, petitioned the court to legally change Natalia's birth year from 2003 to 1989, effectively making her 22 years old. The court granted it. With that one legal stroke, Natalia Grace, who had once been a little girl in need of love, was now legally an adult woman, no longer eligible for school programs, pediatric care, or child protection services. Then, in an act that would later lead to national headlines and legal battles, the Barnetts moved to Canada with their biological children and left Natalia behind in a rented apartment in Lafayette, Indiana. They paid the rent for a while, but ultimately, she was alone. Neighbors said she struggled to care for herself. Some said she was sweet and kind. Others weren't so sure. And when authorities eventually caught wind of the situation, the story blew wide open. Michael and Christine Barnett were charged with neglect. They insisted she wasn't a child, that they had done nothing wrong. Michael claimed his wife had been the mastermind, and he followed out of fear. Christine said they had acted to protect their family. The media devoured the tale, calling it the real-life orphan, drawing comparisons to the 2009 horror film where a grown woman impersonates a child and infiltrates a family with deadly consequences. But Natalia Grace was not a movie character. She was real. She was alive. And in interviews, she spoke with clarity and emotion, maintaining that she was a child when adopted, that she had never tried to hurt anyone, and that she had been abandoned, misjudged, and betrayed. She found a new home eventually, with a kind-hearted couple named Antoine and Cynthia Mans, who took her in as their own. They gave her support, stability, and a platform. Natalia seemed to thrive. The contrast was stark. This wasn't the violent manipulator described by the Barnetts. This was a young woman struggling to reclaim her stolen childhood. In 2023, Natalia's story returned to the spotlight with a documentary series titled The Curious Case of Natalia Grace. Viewers were enthralled and conflicted. Was she a victim or a villain? A child or a fraud? The show offered no easy answers. What it did offer was a window into a family fractured by fear, a system overwhelmed by ambiguity, and a girl whose life was forever altered by a question no one could definitively answer. How old is Natalia Grace?